welcome back to another episode of Sometimes the Old Man is Right. As always, I'm your host, Lamont Ferguson, playing the role of the old man. That's my Halloween costume for this year. Old Man Ferguson. All right, let's be honest. It's my Halloween costume every year. Every year, I'm Old Man Ferguson. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. What's the good word? Thanks for downloading, dialing up, whatever it is you do to be able to get the podcast. I appreciate you. Episode number 6. Wow, we are off the shore now. We're starting to get in a little deeper water. That's what's going on here. Episode 6. Every time I get ready to sit down behind the microphone, I wait. I wait for the Turk to come knocking on my door. Tell me the coach wants to see me. Come bring my playbook. But Turk didn't show up. So here I am. For those of you that don't understand that reference, the Turk in football is the Grim Reaper. That's the guy that shows up and tells you why and that you're being released from the team. So no Turk. And here we are in episode number 6. I hope your week was good. I hope you're getting ready for your whatever it is you do on the Halloween weekend. Is that what we do? We give it a weekend now? If it falls on a Sunday, the whole weekend becomes Halloween weekend? All right, I guess that's what we're doing. Dressing up in whatever your costumes are. And I'm sure whatever they are for the ladies, I'm sure they're slutty versions. Because that's what right? I'm a teacher. I'm a slutty teacher. I'm a slutty maid. I'm a slutty slut, I guess. I don't even know. Guys, too, let's be equal in all this. Hey, look, I'm the slutty Hulk. All right. My week was decent. Thanks for asking. It was pretty uneventful. It was pretty chill, actually. Came off of the previous weekend. Last weekend, I was at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club, which was a nice time there. Shout out to those folks there. It's a good club. Hard to find, though. It's kind of a mystery club. Kind of hidden away on the harbor there in Ventura. I'm surprised the people that live there would... I wouldn't be surprised that they wouldn't know that there's a club there. There were some folks there, though, that found it. Determined comedy fans, aficionados. I appreciate all the folks that came out. Had a nice time getting tuned up for work. That's the thing. I did learn a little something, or more or less reinforce something I already knew about myself. I know that my process works best is me writing out the jokes, a lot of times by hand, writing out verbatim what I'm going to say, then rehearsing it in my head over and over again, then performing it, recording it while I'm performing it, taking a look at it. Then I work backwards and start trimming the fat, all the extra stuff that's in there. But of late, I'll be honest, I'd gotten a little lazy. Granted, not worked for close to 2 years, but I got a little lazy and just go, oh, this is the premise. I got it. I know the bullet points, and I'll go up on stage and do it. And what happens when I do that is that I miss a lot of the jokes. I miss some of the stuff that I wanted to say in my head as I was rehearsing. So I wrote everything out and then did it and was like, man, look at all the punchlines I found. It's odd that I would go against the grain of myself. And I don't know if a lot of people, like, you know what works best for you. There's a certain point in your life where you know what works best. And then you kind of go, I'm not going to do that. We're our own worst enemy when that takes place. So that was good. That was good to get back to basics for me. I also submitted for a writing job. That got me a little fired up. See, here's the problem. Whenever I sit down by them, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have enough things to talk about this episode that get me fired up. And then I look at some notes and go, nah, you're pretty much regularly fired up. I think you got enough stuff to talk about for 40 minutes or so. So I submitted for this job. I found a posting for a job for an HBO sports late night comedy show looking for writers. Features one of the personalities from ESPN. So I decided I'm going to submit for this. And it was pretty straightforward. But here's the problem that got me fired up. I try my best to not be wrong, just in life in general. I try to look at every possible thing and go, okay, I think I'm right on this thing. And, if I am wrong, I don't have a problem with admitting that I'm wrong. But I try to not be. I do have a problem when I know that I'm right and I feel like I'm in a situation where I can't say, you're wrong. And that's what happened with this writing submission. So they put in the rules, 1-page submission. And in that page, you have to write a paragraph about how your sports fandom manifested, what is your level of sports fandom. And you also have to write an essay. And the essay is about one of 3 particular topics. So I decided, all right, I'm going to write this comedic essay about this thing and write my paragraph about my sports fandom. And then I'll just put it up and then work my way back. If it's too long for a page, then I'll start editing and figure out what I can edit to make it still fit into a page. So I did that. And I was like, all right, that's good enough. I'll send that out. I signed the release form, attached that in the email. It also said at the bottom, attach your cover page. Make sure you have a cover page with your contact info. That's where I went a little ballistic, because here's what happened. I sent cover page, submission page, and the release, and it immediately got sent back. And they said, "Hi, Lamont." And then they put these 2 words. "Per instructions, your submission, the cover page, and the submission should all be in one PDF page." And I got a little fired up because I thought, then you don't understand the definition of cover page. Cover page by itself says that's a separate page. Don't put everything has to be on one page and then at the end say, make sure you add a cover page. So I got annoyed because I was being told, hey, when you put per instructions, that's like saying, hey, idiot. Hey, you dumbass. How come you can't follow instructions? Don't you see these instructions? And that's what it made me feel like. And I don't like that feeling, especially when I know that I'm not wrong. But I've grown, because I will tell you, 10 years ago, I just sent it back with a little snide comment saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got confused by the definition of cover page meaning separate page." I'd have put that, and then it'd have been over. But I didn't say anything. I just took it out and somehow combined everything into one page and then resent it. And they just said, thank you. So we'll see what happens. But there is a part of me still. This was on Tuesday, by the way. I'm still pissed about this. On Tuesday, I was per instructioned. And on Friday, I'm still mad because I think, do I really want to write for a group of people that don't know definition of words, which is kind of important to a writer? So that was, in essence, that was my week. I'm getting ready for, it's coming close, getting ready to go back to work. I think November 11th, I fly out to Tampa Bay, and November 12th, I'll be on the ship. So it's getting down there. I'm a little nervous, as I said before in the previous episode, a little apprehension. I would like to be able to get on stage, so hopefully I'll be able to get on stage a couple of times before then, as opposed to going in just cold. But yeah, kind of a little excitement, a little nervousness, a little excitement. That's all happening there. And other than that was my week. You know, the regular thing, walking Olivia to school. Olivia as well. Olivia got dressed up as a scarecrow today. That's old school. I like that. She's a scarecrow for Halloween. That's cool. Noah one year was an astronaut. I like that thinking. I like the old traditional thinking. Here is a weird thing that's going on with Olivia now. She is obsessed with K-pop girl groups. She listened to them all the time. She can't get it. She's singing songs. I got a kid that's singing in Korean throughout the house. Nobody knows what she's saying. She's just singing K-pop girl songs in Korean all day long. I had to look it up because I don't know anything about K-pop girl groups at all. I know it was the boy group. Is that BTS? Is that what that one is? I know that one. But I didn't even know there were girl groups. It's one of those things where you'll see, like, I've known this with all my kids. Like, like during Christmas time, they'll say, hey, this is what I want for Christmas. And you'll say, I don't know what that is. Like, you're sitting here watching television with me, and you're seeing things that I don't know where you see these things from. Noah asked for a whole bunch of stuff when he was a little kid. I'm like, where are these things? Where are these things that you're seeing that you know of their existence? Same thing with this K-pop girl group. Like, I don't know where she's seeing these. I thought she was just watching videos on YouTube that were people playing games, like reactions to people playing video games, and apparently it's not. She's watching these girl group things and learning all the songs. I believe there's stuff that's subliminal for kids that take place on television shows that adults just don't see. It's like that. Remember those 3D paintings in the mall, or their pictures, or whatever they were, when malls were a thing, when you could go there and you just stare at this picture and then some type of 3D image, and they would say, oh, it's better for kids. Like, it's easier for kids to see these than adults. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've never seen anything. To this very day, I could sit there and stare forever. I've yet to see whatever the image is on those 3D pictures that you look at that were in the mall, 10 years ago or so. Yet to see one. So she's into that. She's into Blackpink and their hit song, do. Look, I'm just saying what it says. And I listened to the song, and yeah, they're saying do. Something like that. I don't know. It's not for me. I know that looking at these girls, because they look so young, I'm like, I'm going to have to scrub my history just in case the government shows up that I'm looking at but they're not. They're one of the girls is nearly 30. They just all look like they're 12. And that's just what happens when you're old. So Olivia, I guess, at one point will become a K-pop girl group member, even though she's not Korean. So I don't even know how that's going to work. So anyway, that has been what is going on. I've got the notes to kind of get me all fired up, see what's going on. There's a couple of things that are going on. One of the things I did during the past couple of days is sometimes I'll flip through and I'll watch a movie or whatever's on. I'll just start watching the movie from that point. Teen Wolf was on. Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox, you know what it is. I remember this movie. I remember seeing it. I probably only saw it the one time when it initially came out in 1985. And things just sit with you as being, hey, that was a good memory when Michael J. Fox ruled the world. But I'm watching this movie for a few minutes, and it's based in the 80s because the movie was filmed in 1985. And it is a gross misrepresentation of anyone that grew up in the 80s. Like, that is not how I remember the 80s at all. And if that is how the 80s was, we had the worst people on the face of the earth. 1985, I was 20 years old. I don't remember any of these types of parties that took place where there's whipped cream wrestling going on and all the I don't remember any of these types of characters being real people there. And good Lord, if you watch any of these movies, is to see how far we have come and how horrible we were back then. There's a line in there where right before Michael J. Fox tells his cool friend, the cool friend is Styles, I think that's the guy's name, wears glasses, sunglasses all the time. Like, I don't know where that was allowed, that a kid could wear sunglasses in class all the time, unless you were Ray Charles. I don't know how that was allowed and how that was thought of. Hey, that's a cool thing. This guy is the biggest asshat you'd ever seen. Everyone in that movie is a dick. Every single one of them. The 80s, if that was the personification, the representation of what people were in the 80s, good Lord. The worst group of people I'd ever seen. Ever. You'd ever want to see. So, they're in Styles' garage, and he wants to tell him that he's a werewolf, which is weird. We'll just move on from there. I do. There's a backlash about comics looking at movies and then kind of taking them apart like this, but I don't care because it's always funny to me. It's a weird thing. But he wants to tell him he's a werewolf. And Styles is busy looking for marijuana, I think is what it is. And Styles looks at him and says, hey, man, if you're going to tell me that you're a fag, I'm not ready for that. Which, you know, the usage of the word, okay, it was the 80s, I get it. It does slap you in the face when you hear it in 2021. But Michael J. Fox then says, no, I'm not a fag. And then he promptly turns into a werewolf. And the guy goes, oh, that is cool. Which makes me think that the writers of that particular movie thought, yeah, that we live in a society where don't tell me you're gay, but a werewolf is completely accepted and celebrated by everyone in the school. A werewolf! Much more accepted than being gay. And that tells you how far we've come. It also shows just the plight of the LGBTQ plus community. Just going back to the 80s, 1985, that wasn't even that long ago, as to how tough things were for them. And the fact that if you want to go back, like, dude, you wrote this in the movie. It didn't even have to be said in the movie. But, you know, the other thing I saw that was weird is Michael J. Fox is a werewolf. He goes to school. Everyone's high-fiving him because he's the cool werewolf. All the white people are high-fiving him and celebrating him. He sees the one black guy in the hallway, and you know what he does? He dances with him. Didn't dance with anybody else. The one black guy just starts dancing, and Michael J. Fox as Teen Wolf just dances along with him. And then the black guy just pimp walks away. I'm like, who the fuck is this writer, and how does he still have a job in Hollywood? That writer still has a job. That writer is he's a studio exec now. He's a studio exec with Marvel, I believe is what it is. I may be wrong on that. I had looked it up, but I didn't look it up for this. But that dude's a big time guy. He wrote some of the shittiest stuff in movies, the most stereotypical stuff, and yet that dude has moved on. So if you want to go back and look at tweets and stuff like that, I say, can we look back at movies of people that wrote some really shitty things and just call them out on it? I'm not for canceling them. I'm just saying, dude, what the hell was this all about? So that was one part of the week. The other thing that's got me a little fired up, I watch a lot of TV in case you haven't noticed. This Nugenics commercial with Frank Thomas. How did Frank Thomas sign off on being the creepy pimp dude? Every commercial, and she'll like it too. It is creepy. The creepy pimp hitting on your woman dude. This is not something that was made during Teen Wolf days. This was This is a commercial that's on today where Frank Thomas is like, yeah, this is the series. Yeah. And every time you'll just say, and she'll like it too. And then she just looks really, oh, really? And then I'm sure, how the guy's like, how would you know? Frank, what is going on here? What is Frank Thomas up to? Frank, the creepy pimp dude, or the crimpy peep dude, whatever it is I was trying to say earlier. Also on the list of things that are bothering me, things I got fired up on. Remember last week I talked about the $20 bill, the Harry, because that popped into my head. Like, whatever happened to the Harriet Tubman $20 bill? And I looked up some research on it, and Jen Psaki, the White House spokesperson, she just said the administration is working on it. Like, oh, okay. All right. Well, first of all, we knew that thing wasn't going to come out. Obama, it passed during the Obama era, and you knew once Trump got in that there's no way in hell that the Harriet Tubman $20 bill was going to be happening on Trump's watch. Here's the weird thing about it, though. Had it come out on the Trump's watch, Trump may still be president. That's the weird thing about it. But he made sure, not that this was the big key point in it, but it was, of one of many, as far as him not, whatever it is. They said, we need to do more research. We need to make sure it's that it can't be counterfeit. Here's what I say. I say, if we want the things to come out, then have the counterfeiters actually do the release. Because is there anyone that works more efficiently, effectively, and quickly than counterfeiters or scam artists? Like, the second that $20 bill is out, bam, they're going to be like, okay, please be on the lookout because there's counterfeit 20s that are out there that pass the. So why don't we have them work on it? Have them work on it. We'd have it tomorrow, the counterfeit $20 bill, because these scam artists, this industry of the scam is at an all-time high. That's one of the reasons why I know that these stupid people are winning, is because scams keep taking place. That extended warranty thing, look, if nobody bought into that, if somebody was like, hey, everybody, hey, this is dumb. I don't even have a car. What are you talking about, my extended warranty? I don't have a car. What do you mean? Then they would stop. But the phone calls continue. They continue all the time because stupid people go, oh, how can I send you my money? Where is it that I could send all of my money for this? So why don't we have them work on it? Hell, they're called artists, scam artists. It's a work of art. It's what it is. Against these idiots. I already knew this because last week on the drive, we're starting to get these signs out on the freeway now, on the 405 here in Southern California, that say, always watch out for pedestrians. That's all the sign says. Always watch out for pedestrians. On the freeway, speed limit 65 miles an hour. Always watch out for pedestrians. Now that's passed on to us. The responsibility has passed on to us because people are like, hey, we give up. We give up. Now it's on you. You got to look out for them. Like, where were the signs outside the freeway that says never walk on the freeway? Like, where are those signs? They don't have those signs. Now we've passed the responsibility onto the drivers. In addition to people who are on their phones and can't drive and braking for no reason. Oh, by the way, there might be people. So these are all the things where I say the scam artists, pedestrians on the freeway. Yep, stupid people have won. They have won. They've all won. Facebook changed its name to Meta, which I don't even know what that means. I have no clue as to what Meta means. My first thought was, who knew Mark Zuckerberg was such a fan of Ron Artest. Sports reference for the rest of you there, that Ron Artest changed his name at one point to Meta World Peace. So that was my original thought. And then the only thing I know of is metaverse, which I guess is how it's supposed to be, is that it's a metaverse part of layers upon layers. But I only know that in association with superheroes and like watching The Flash, and that they're meta-humans. And then it made sense, because if there's anyone that would fit into the category of meta-human, it would be Mark Zuckerberg, because that dude does not look human. He doesn't act human. He doesn't look human. The only thing about him that's human is that he has a lot of money. So Facebook is now Meta. And then the design of the logo just looks like a superhero's mask. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't think this is for me, is what it is. That's how I look at a lot of things. I say, hey, if I can't figure this out, instead of just bad mouthing and saying it's not anything, I just say it's not for me. It's for somebody. It's got to be for somebody. And it's just not for me. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in saying it's not for you. Find your thing. You know, you do your thing. My favorite story of the week boils down to 2 words: cocaine hippos. I'm going to let that sit there for a moment, because that sounds fantastic. Cocaine hippos. And the U.S. meddling. That's really what this story boils down to. So Pablo Escobar, the drug lord, Narcos, the whole Netflix stuff. Pablo Escobar, the Colombian drug kingpin, he's dead now, but sorry if that's a spoiler alert for you. But he had hippos in Colombia. They're not native to Colombia, by the way, in case you were wondering. But he had a little zoo, and he called them cocaine hippos. When you hear that, because I had to look it up, I thought, wait a minute. Were the hippos on cocaine? Were the hippos used to smuggle cocaine? No, he just called them cocaine hippos because, he made his money in cocaine. So cocaine bought these hippos, is pretty much what I'm guessing that he's saying. So he had some hippos, and those hippos thrived and flourished and had more hippos and more hippos, to the point where there seemed to be kind of a hippo problem going on in Colombia, to where the numbers went from like 20 hippos up to 80 hippos. And because the hippos in Colombia, they don't have any natural enemies. Because there were more than 100 hippos. And because they have no natural enemies, this would just keep occurring. And so scientists were worried that this would upset the ecosystem. If you've got hippos in a place where they aren't naturally from, because they could just run rampant and do whatever it is they want. So people are like, hey, we got to cull the hippos. We got to cull the hippo population. We got to do something about this, because this is going to get out of hand. Well, America got involved. I don't even understand how this worked. I don't know how a U.S. court made a ruling on something in Colombia. But the animals people, this is the greatest thing. The animals people got involved, and somehow they found a judge that ruled that the hippos are in the same category as people. Yeah, you heard me. A judge ruled that the hippos are people, and therefore they can't be culled. So you can't, kill them to help the population or to help the ecosystem, because they are persons of interest is what it is, or interesting persons. I don't think they were persons of interest. I don't think they were, they weren't white men that, whose wives are missing. They weren't that, but they were, I think they called them interesting persons, and also the same category as being people. So therefore they can't kill them. So now that's every headline, is that now hippos have been ruled by one judge as being people. Look, I've said this many times. I am so glad that I am at the age that I am, because the ride is almost over. That's the thing. The ride is almost over, because this nonsense that we have let take place, I don't need to see the end of it. The thing I will be a little jealous of that I don't get to see the end of is technology, the advancements of technology. But the advancements of technology have far surpassed people. People advancements have not. They've lagged, is what they've done. They've lagged far behind technology. Yeah, maybe we've gotten a little better as being a little more accepting of everyone, but some nonsense needs to stop, because hippos are people. Therefore, we can't stop the population in a place that they don't belong in the first place, because a drug lord brought hippos, is insanity. So I don't know how this is all going to work out, this whole people thing. But my odds are that they're not, that they're not going to work out at all. So that was my favorite story of the week, of all the nonsense that's going on. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's a saying, ride it until the wheels fall off. And that's what I feel like we have done with America. We have ridden it till the wheels have definitely fallen off. All right. I don't have anything else. It's a short version this week. I didn't have a lot of things that were getting me too riled up. I'll get ready for work, make it through this Halloween weekend. We roll into November. October went pretty quickly, didn't it? Felt like to me like it was October 1st and then bam, Halloween weekend is what it felt like, which is also a sign of getting old. Just time just zips on by. I thank you all for tuning in. Could you do me a favor? Could you share the word? That sounded very religious, but you know what I mean. Could you share if you enjoy the podcast and get that out amongst the people that are like you, of ilk, kind, same ilk? I think I'm using that correctly. If not, I don't. You know what I mean, right? Communication doesn't mean anything anymore. Share it. Subscribe to it. I think, is that something you do? You do that to find out when it's every Friday. Every Friday is a new episode of Sometimes the Old Man is Right. I'll be right here until the Turk shows up. Other information you could find at lamontferguson.com. All your Lamont Ferguson information is there. Every Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, myself and Lewis Johnson Jr. will be talking in a good green room. Lewis Johnson, Lamont Ferguson, a good green room. We just get together, we chat, we talk. It'd be nice. I said a lot of things today. I'm an old man. I wait for the end of the ride. I'll complain about a myriad of things. Some of those things may be a little kooky, but you know the deal. Sometimes the old man is right. I'll see you next week.